Hello everyone and welcome to Highland Creek Golf Club. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're looking to break 90. Let's go.
Blackshear Sports.
Alright, so hole one, wasn't able to record, but hit a nice drive up the left side. Hit the first fairway of the day. Hit a sand wedge a little bit over the green into the bunker in the back. Chipped out from the sand to about 16 feet. And then I had a little two putt for a bogey there. Hole 2 was a par 5, 510 yards. Hit a nice drive up the left side. Really good drive, probably the best drive of the day. 2 fairways in a row. Feeling pretty confident right about now.
The camera's rolling. All right, you get it.
In the fairway here, this is the second shot on the par 5. It was about 240, so I ended up hitting 5 wood. Pretty decent up the left side. Shot finished just in front of those bunkers on the left. Had a lob wedge up, and this is where it ended up. Had about 25 feet left for birdie. This thing really snaps left. Didn't see it. I knew it went left, just didn't give it enough. It was an awful stroke. Putting wasn't great today. Still had about 8 feet left here, and it was nowhere near the hole. This was the first 3-putt of the day. It definitely won't be the last. So this hole where I have fairway, green in regulation, and then a 3-putt bogey hits a little different. 2 bogeys to start. I'm looking to bounce back with a par on this par 3. It's pretty short. Playing 127 from the whites. Hit a nice pitching wedge here to the front of the green.
That's right at it, yeah. Nice shot. Uphill putt, too.
Barely caught a piece of this green, but that is 2 greens in reg in a row.
Nah, it's a little too far for me.
And I have almost 40 feet for this putt here.
Get up.
Put a good stroke on it. Probably had about a foot left. Good thing they gave it to me because the way I was putting, I probably would have missed that 1-footer. Hole 4 was a par 4 here, about 390 yards. Hit a decent drive up the left side. Did get stuck in the trees, so I had to punch out with an 8-iron. This picture shown here is a sand wedge from about 90 yards. Hit it pretty solid to about 14, 15 feet. Then 2-putt bogey. Hole 5 was a little bit of a dogleg right. Hit probably one of the better drives of the day, just on the wrong hole. Went left, so I had to punch out with the pitching wedge. This picture shows my sand wedge from about 80 yards. Came up short, had to chip on, and then 2-putt from 6 feet for the first double bogey of the day. At this point in the round, 5 over through 5 holes isn't horrible. Bogey golf, that'll get me to about 90. So looking to continue that on this hole. Par 3, about 185. Hit a 6-iron here. Caught the tiniest piece of the green, but it is a green in regulation nonetheless. Look at this tiny piece of the green that I found. Nice green in regulation here. I'll take it all day. I got a 40-footer. Cozied this up pretty nice for a 2-putt. 3s on the scorecard are always a win when I'm trying to break 90.
Get there.
Ugh, good par.
My playing partners here asked to remove the flag, and it was stuck in the ground. Literally, the hole was coming up out of the ground. So we left that thing in there and kept it moving.
Yeah, literally the cop was moving.
Hole 7 was a par 5 here. Driver was not great. Did hit the fairway, but only hit a 155-yard drive. Duffed my 5-iron into the sand, and then 5-iron out of the sand. Left me in the middle of the fairway to this shot here, which is 7-iron. This 7-iron here was best shot of the day. 173 to 20 feet on the green. So after a great 7-iron onto the green, this putt for par from about 20 feet was never close. It was never close. Did end up 2-putting for a bogey, so I'll take it. Did leave 5 feet here, so luckily I was able to make this one, or else that would have been another double on the card. Hole 8 was one of those holes that you want to get back. Driver, 100 yards, decent 5-iron out of the rough. Gap wedge into the creek in front of the green. Lob wedge up. Still had about 30 feet. Ended up 2-putting, but a 7 on the scorecard is never what you're looking for. Hole 9 was an interesting hole. Hit a nice drive up the right side. 267 or so. Had a pitching wedge from this angle here, shown in the picture. It did hit off the car path and roll backwards. Tried to make something happen here. Tried to hit through the trees, didn't work. Hit a tree, bounced over, sand wedge. 2-putt from 25 feet. So after 9 holes, just a little recap. We had 2 pars just on the par 3s. We had 2 fairways. We had 3 greens. We had 1 3-putt on one of those greens, and then we had a triple. Starting the back 9 here, par 4, not that long. Hit a okay drive. I didn't like it, but I hit an okay one out the left side. It did go into the fairway bunker. Hit the best fairway bunker shot I've ever hit in my life with a 9-iron, but did end up 3-putting from about 25 feet. But that 9-iron got my juices flowing there. But again, a second 3-putt after a green. Hole 11 here is a short par 3. You're about to see a bogey get grind out here. You'll see it. Just watch it. As you're watching, notice this follow through that I do with this right hand. I'm just noticing it now. I'm going to stop doing that. So I left my gap wedge short. Had about 25 yards to the flag. Left this lob wedge short. So you'll see that happen.
Giddy up.
So I'm staring down this putt from off the green, and once I hit it, you'll realize that I didn't stare it down long enough.
Sit. Wow. Wow.
So after I yell sit and wow 2 times, I have a 10 to 12 footer coming back, and I bury this thing.
Good pot. Really good pot.
Maybe it was 9 feet, but who's counting? Now we get to hole 12, which is a par 5, but it was very narrow, so I hit 5 iron off the tee. 199 is plenty for a 5 iron, so I'm happy with that. Had a 7 iron layup to the other side of the fairway. And my next shot here, to get a green in regulation, you're not going to want to miss. As I think I'm playing this hole very smart, I end up with a ball above my feet, 8 iron here, over water to get onto the green. And you'll see I did not make it.
Oh, skip over the water.
So after another 7 there, I go into this par 4 thinking, let me play sensible again. So I hit a bomb of a 5 iron to this point here where I have pitch and wedge left. I saw 2 of the guys that I'm playing with go into the creek, so I bail out right hard. I also do that right hand follow through again, but I end up with a lob wedge and a 1-putt, which was nice for another bogey. Hole 14 here, I probably should have hit another 5 iron because my driver only went 199 yards, but I was in the fairway, so I hit a 7 iron to this point, caught a tiny piece of the green again, and then from 55 feet, I 3-putt. Hole 15 here with another 200-yard driver, so did go into the hazard, into someone's backyard. So I had to punch out with the pitching wedge, then had a sand wedge from about 100 yards with a 20-foot putt. Did end up 2-putting for a double. Okay, so hole 16 is the worst hole of the day. It is a 7. I've had 7s before, but this one, I hit one shot that was over 100 yards, and that was a gap wedge. All the other shots were awful, to say the least. Driver, again, awful here, as you can see, and the rest is history. Hole 17 was a 140-yard par 3. The wind was picking up here. Thought I could muscle up a 9 iron there. It went up to the sky and only went 119 yards.
That actually went pretty high.
Think you're with me?
Oh, mine is well short.
I have about 45 yards, 50 yards to the flag from here. So I did hit a decent shot, which gave myself a shot at par.
Where you going though?
Have about 18 feet here for par. Did leave it short though, which I was very hesitant in this putt because it was going downhill a little bit. Left it a foot short, so ended up with a bogey. That drive up to the 18th was so pleasant. Made me want to focus up here. So end up hitting a nice drive. I was actually the only one in the group to get over the water, which was nice to see.
There we go. There we go. That's a big one.
The water was only there for intimidation purposes because this is a short par 5. Only had 6 iron left in, and I'm aiming way left because I do not want to go in that water. So I wasn't committed to this shot, only hit it 121 yards. So had another shot left in to get a green rig.
Lot of green to work with, though.
Had almost 80 yards to the flag from here. Again, I am aiming way left, and I actually put a little sauce on this one. Wish you could see it.
Oh, good shot.
Whoa.
Got my green in regulation here on the last hole. Had about 25 feet. Did give this a run. Probably had 5 or 6 feet coming back. So to end around on a par, this 5-footer was dead straight up the hill. No problem. Center of the cup. Finished with a 93. Wasn't my best golf here, but definitely wasn't my worst. I'll take a 93, only 4 shots away from breaking 90. So that's the goal. You can see the round summary here. Had 4 pars. Had 6 fairways and 6 greens. I did have 3 3-putts, and those 3 putts all came from a green in regulation, which is unfortunate. So that's 90 right there. And then just eliminating those triple bogeys by taking less than driver off the tee, maybe. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll look to break 90 in the next one. Stay tuned.